everybody, I'm Tom Vasel, and welcome to the Dice Tower. Today I'm going to go through my top 10 Marvel board games based in the Marvel universe, whether cinematic or comic book. I'm doing a companion one from DC Comics, although I'll tell you there and here that the Marvel games are vastly superior to the DC ones at this point in time. In fact, I cut some games that I enjoyed from this list. I do want to point out that Marvel United, coming from Command, I haven't played yet, so I don't know anything about that one. And the Crisis Protocol, the miniature game from Fantasy Flight, I've seen that one, but I haven't played it, so I wouldn't know where to put it on this list. So these are my personal favorites from the Marvel Universe. Let's get started. Number 10 is Marvel Heroes. Now this one is it's one of the oldest games on the list. It's designed by the same group of people who made the very well-renowned War of the Ring. In this game, you control a group of heroes, and they're running around New York City trying to fight off different people and solve problems, and you have a specific villain that another player is controlling for you. So if I'm controlling the X-Men, you might be controlling Magneto. If I'm controlling the Fantastic Four, you're controlling Dr. Doom. One of the things of note about this one is there's lots of characters in this one, not just the Avengers as there is in most games. There's very few X-Men games currently out there worth getting. This one shows its age a little bit and pales maybe in comparison to some newer games, but there's a lot of cool things about it. Number 9 is HeroClix. I know for many people this is number 1 on the list because HeroClix is a lifestyle game and a lot of people love it. And this is one of the few crossovers with the DC side of things. In fact, you can play against the DC characters. But this one, I mean, if you want a Marvel superhero and move them around and fight other Marvel superheroes, this is a really good way to do it. And you can pretty much find any Marvel hero in existence. It's really well renowned. I don't like it as much as everybody else, but I still think the system is sound and fun to play. Number 8 is 5 Minute Marvel. Now this is a reworking of 5 Minute Dungeon. In 5 Minute Marvel, it's a cooperative game where you turn over a bad guy that needs a certain number of cards, and each person is a hero from Squirrel Girl to Spider-Man, and you're just playing cards as fast as you can to try to defeat these heroes cooperatively. It's silly, it's fast, and very entertaining. Number 7 is Thanos Rising. Now this game was so popular that it's actually been remade now with a Star Wars theme and a Harry Potter theme, and I think there's more themes on the way. But in this game, all the players are working together against Thanos, and they're going to be controlling different groups. You might be Captain America leading some people, or Black Panther leading some people, and you're just working together, rolling dice, trying to stop Thanos from getting the different Infinity Stones. Obviously a tie-in with the movie, but a really cool cooperative game. Number 6 is HeroScape. Most people don't realize that HeroScape, a very popular game from years ago, had a Marvel comic expansion for it, in which you could play different characters fighting other characters, and Hulk versus Abomination. It was really well done, and they only ever really made one set. So it would be even higher on my list, but it's really fun, and to me, I think it's superior to HeroClix just because it was easy and fast and fun. And if you like it, there are people online at HeroScapers.com who have continued to make unofficial expansions for it, which I played several of them, and they work quite fine. Number 5 is Overpower. This is a sentimental favorite of mine, but I actually think it's a really well done game, if a bit unbalanced if you get to the competitive scene, which you probably never will. But if you can find packs of Overpower, and by the way, this is one of the few times where there's a crossover for it, DC, but the DC characters were underpowered and not nearly as interesting. So I'm speaking specifically about Marvel. Well, there's also Image, but Marvel here. And you had a group of 4 heroes against someone else's 4 heroes. You built a deck. There was a little bit of bidding and back and forth with special powers for the characters. It's still a really cool game that I enjoy. Number 4 is Hail Hydra in this game. Some of the players are Hydra agents. You're all superhero, except some people have gone to the bad side, and you're just trying to figure it out. This is in the realm of deduction games these days. Maybe you've heard of Werewolf or Resistance. This has some similarities to that, but it brings in that fun Marvel flavor to it as you're trying to fight different bad guys, except some people aren't going to be fighting as hard as the rest, and you want to figure out who they are. Number 3 is Dice Masters, another crossover with the DC universe. In fact, there's Dungeons & Dragons Dice Masters and WWE Dice Masters and Warhammer 40K Dice Masters. But Dice Masters started in the Marvel Universe, Avengers versus X-Men. And while it's many parts of it are abstracted down, it is an excellent game of dice and cards. Think of it almost as a dice version of Magic the Gathering. There's a lot more differences to it than that. I think there's a lot of strategy. It's very entertaining and one of my favorite games that I will still play to this day. Number 2 is Marvel Champions. This is one of the newest games on the list. Very popular Fantasy Flight living card game. You can buy the starter box, and then you can just buy individual hero packs and or villain packs. Another cooperative game. Each person's going to pick their hero, and you're working together to beat somebody. So maybe I'm Captain America and you're Ms. Marvel, and together we will join forces and fight against, I don't know, Green Goblin or whoever the bad guy is. There's a lot going on in this game. It's very entertaining, and of all the games in this list, I think it's one of the more thematic versions of the Marvel Universe. And my favorite game for Marvel board games / card games is Marvel Legendary. I really enjoy this game. There is a gazillion expansions out for it. Another cooperative game, a theme in Marvel games for sure, and you're working together trying to beat some major bad guy. There's so many of them to pick from at this point, and there is you're going to need to get the starter set, but after that you can find almost any hero in Marvel Comics in this set, from the X-Men to the Avengers to the Guardians of the Galaxy to Fantastic Four to Spider-Man and his friends to very weird heroes that only showed up in a few comic books. And there are so many combinations in them to the point that it's a ridiculous number that you couldn't even imagine in your head. You'll never play the same game twice, and just so much artwork, so much going on in it, and just a really solid, fun, cooperative game. Those are my top 10 Marvel games. What are yours? What are some ones that I missed? What did I get wrong in my order? Tell me in the comments below. Until next time, I'm Tom Vasel, and you've been watching The Dice Tower.